I arrived 20 minutes late, which in my family's book meant unreliable and self-absorbed. The grand ballroom of the Fairmont glittered with chandeliers and mirrored walls, but all I saw was my brother Jake, standing at the front with his fiancée, Emily, and a crowd of relatives clustered around, their laughter bright and sharp as broken glass. I smoothed the dark green blouse I'd splurged on for the occasion, still more casual than the gowns and suits around me, but it was the only thing that felt like me. My phone buzzed in my purse, a reminder of my yoga class in 30 minutes. I resisted the urge to respond, reminding myself this night was about Jake. I took a breath and stepped inside. "Speak of the devil," Aunt Linda whispered to Cousin Mark as I passed. Mark snorted. "Look at Sophie, too busy living her free spirit life in Bali to show up on time." Their eyes danced between me and the couple on stage, as if I were a sideshow attraction. My throat tightened. I forced a smile. "Hey guys," I said, voice steady. I wrapped my arm around Linda's shoulder. "Beautiful party." She patted my hand like I was a child. "Nice of you to drop by." I slid between clusters of guests, nodding at my grandmother who mouthed, "You look tired," and exchanging quick hugs with older cousins, who patted my back with pursed lips. My dad, arms crossed in a corner, didn't look up. He'd spent the drive lecturing me about my life choices, why I'd left my marketing gig to become a freelance painter, why I could never seem to grow up. I realized Dad probably thought I'd show up from an ashram in India, barefoot and high on clouds, ready to serenade Jake with a sitar. Instead, I'd flown home, boarded up my anxiety, and tried to fit in. The maitre d' me to the bar. I lifted a flute of champagne, hoping the bubbles would steady me. Behind the counter, the bartender recognized me. "Soph, right? One elf-tastic cocktail for the party animal?" He winked. I cracked a genuine smile. "Just the champagne tonight, thanks, Omar." I danced a quick step away and raised the glass to my lips. A server holding a platter of smoked salmon canapés stopped in front of me. I took one, closed my eyes, and tried to taste something other than self-consciousness. A hush swept the room. The best man's speech was beginning. I eased back, perching on the edge of a banquette near the windows. The speech was vintage Mark. Rehearsed jokes about college antics, a few barbed lines about how Jake would never answer his phone, and once forgot Emily's birthday. The crowd howled. I caught Emily's arm. She glanced at me, cheeks flushed. "He's a terrible tease," she mouthed. I could almost see her brain ticking. "Why is Sophie here?" She looked apologetic, then turned back to laugh along with Jake. After the toast, the lights dimmed and the background music shifted to a slow ballad. Jake took Emily's hand and led her to the dance floor. The orchestra swelled. I watched him hold her waist, chin to her cheek, and I felt the weight settle in my chest. This was a fairy tale, and I was the odd one out. I slipped my phone from my purse, thumb hovering over a text I'd sent Emily 3 days ago. "Meet me before the party. Urgent," no reply. I'd known I needed to tell her, in private, what I'd discovered. A pebble of dread rolled through me. On stage, the couple's smiles were bright. Their families framed them like a portrait. Mom sat to the side in her silver gown, arms folded, eyes sharp. She caught my glance and gave me a look so cold I nearly dropped my champagne. I set the glass on the banquette and folded my arms, scanning for an escape. I spotted a service door marked "Staff Only" behind the bandstand. My heart thudded. I could slip out, call a cab, head home. But I couldn't leave him here, oblivious. I swallowed, fingertips tingling. The song ended. Guests rose, forming a semicircle around the dance floor, hands raised for the bouquet toss. I edged forward, mind racing. I needed to find Emily, tell her everything before the crowd gathered. But I'd have to wait for the next break. A server sweeping past nearly collided with me. "Watch it, miss," he snapped. I jerked back, knocking into a waitstaff, carrying a tray of champagne. Glasses spilled, liquid splattering across my shoes. "I'm so sorry," I stammered. The server rolled his eyes, swept onward. I wiped at the glass on my blouse, cheeks burning. A small hand tugged my sleeve. I looked down. My niece, 3-year-old Lily, dressed in a miniature white dress, hair in pigtails, eyes big with wonder. "Aunt Sophie," she whispered. "Mommy said you're sad." She reached up, grabbed my hand. I knelt and tried to smile. "I promise I'm okay, sweetie." I brushed a loose strand of hair from her face. "Go find Grandma." She nodded and scampered off, leaving me blinking against the sting of her empathy. I exhaled and straightened. The buffet line parted to let through a cart of mini beef Wellingtons. I grabbed one, grateful for something to focus on, besides humiliation. I scanned the room. Emily was laughing at something. Aunt Linda said. She glowed. I hated that she was happy. I hated what I was about to do. I inched through the buffet line toward her. My heart pounded like a bass drum. With every step, I replayed our conversation from yesterday in my mind. Emily, eyes wide, backing against her bedroom door. You saw the texts? I'd nodded, voice tremulous. Your phone at the cafe? You forgot to lock it. I saw him with another woman. Her face had gone ghostly. It's not what you think. I saw the messages, I said. I heard the voicemail he deleted. I'd taken a deep breath, seeing someone else. The pause had stretched. She'd held my gaze, mouth parted. I need proof, she finally mouthed. I'd sent the PI report, photos of Jake leaving a hotel early, the messages, the credit card slip for romance suite. She read it all, fingers trembling. You have to be wrong, she whispered. He told me he loved me. I'd looked at her, pity softened my chest. I'm so sorry. She'd sunk to the floor, phone clattering. I trusted him. My mom trusted him. What do I do? I'd knelt beside her. You decide. But don't walk down the aisle thinking this is normal. Now, as I neared her, I saw tears in her eyes. She was clutching her clutch purse like a shield. My pulse raced. I hovered by her elbow. Emily, I said softly. Her head snapped up, mouth opening and closing like a fish. We need to talk. Please outside? She looked toward the crowd. Jake was mid-toast with Uncle Steve, who was regaling guests with a joke about golfing accidents. Past them, Mom frowned. Aunt Linda clutched her pearls. Emily bit her lip. My chest tightened. Now, I repeated, voice firmer. She squeezed my arm. Okay. She rose and drifted toward the side hall. I followed. We slipped through the staff door, her heels clicking on the tiles. Inside was silence, a narrow corridor lit by a single bulb. The muffled music of the party made the walls vibrate. Emily leaned against the wall, arms crossed. Do you have to do this here? She snapped, voice low and frantic. I can't wait, I said. Your mom's eyes are slits. If she hears anything, she'll send security. She swallowed. What did you see? I unzipped my purse, pulled out the PI report. All of this. I handed it to her. Her jaw trembled as she read. I watched her fingers fly over the pages, heart galloping. After a moment, she slammed the report shut. I can't believe this. He's lying to you, I said. He's been lying. She looked at me, tears brimming. What if I'm wrong? What if you're wrong? You're not, I said. Look at me. I reached for her hands. She let me. I'm here. I would never betray you like this. Her shoulders shook. I need time. I nodded. Stay here. I'll check if there's a quieter place. She stepped aside. I slipped back into the ballroom, moving fast now, mind whirling. I had to stall. Jake was finishing his toast and tapping his glass. The crowd was raising their flutes for a collective. To Emily and Jake. I slipped behind the bandstand, heart in my throat, and found the sound engineer's console. Jackson's voice crackled. Julian, you okay? Fine, I whispered. I need 2 minutes. Go for it. I planted my feet and tuned the mic. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry to interrupt. A hush fell. I cleared my throat. I know this is Jake and Emily's moment, but I have something important to say. Guests exchanged confused glances. I inhaled. Emily, hold my hand. She appeared next to me, pale and shaking, clutching the PI report like a lifeline. I turned to the crowd. I have evidence that my brother has been unfaithful to my sister. I'm sorry for ruining the party, but this day is about truth, not fairy tales. A gasp rippled through the room. Jake stepped forward, face contorting. Emily squeezed my hand. Then the mic cut out. Someone yanked the plug. A murmur rose. Aunt Linda shrieked. You'll regret this, Sophie. I stepped back, adrenaline surging. Listen to me. I grabbed another mic stand. Everything I've said is true. You deserve honesty. But the buzz of voices swallowed me. Security hustled toward the stage. I looked at Emily, bravery fierce in her eyes. She nodded. And then, just as the guards reached us, the lights went out. A single spotlight illuminated the center of the dance floor. Music blared, an anthem I'd recorded specially for tonight. And on the wall, behind us, a video began to play. Footage of Jake texting his other lover, photos, receipts, all laid out for everyone to see. In that moment, the crowd froze, laughter turned to stunned silence, and I realized the stakes. Once the truth was out, there was no going back. I locked eyes with my brother. He opened his mouth to shout, but the video drowned him out. Then Emily stepped forward, voice ringing clear. "That's enough of your lies, Jake." And the room held its breath, waiting for what would come next. The spotlight crackled to life just as the last echoes of my voice drifted away, illuminating the center of the dance floor in harsh white. Gasps rippled through the crowd. A dozen tablets and phones bloomed like fireflies, capturing the unfolding spectacle. Above the orchestra's silent instruments, the video's soundtrack, the very same slow confessional track I'd recorded, began again, louder now, shrill in the hush. The projector threw images onto the far wall. Grainy surveillance of Jake slipping into that downtown hotel lobby. Credit card receipts, time-stamped at midnight. Text threads, confessing "I love you" to someone named C. Someone not Emily. Jake's face paled. He tried to shout, but the microphone in my hand felt welded as though the moment itself had seized all sound in the room. Emily stood beside me, clutching the report, her heels nearly sunk into the plush carpeting. Her engagement ring caught the light, and I felt a surge of protectiveness. This was her night, and I'd promised her truth. Silence stretched on until Aunt Linda squealed. "You'll pay for this, Sophie." She marched toward me, pearls jangling, but Mom stepped in front of her, an uncharacteristic act of solidarity. Mom's voice, when she spoke, trembled but carried through the hush. "Enough, Linda. Let her finish." On the wall, the video shifted to intimate snapshots. Jake and Emily laughing at the botanical gardens, Jake wiping a leaf from Emily's hair. Then a cut to Jake and C, clinking wine glasses. C's face obscured, but her silhouette matched the brunette I'd glimpsed at his office holiday party. The final frame, a voice memo, Emily's name on the playback screen. When the speaker icon pulsed, I pressed play. Jake's voice, soft and urgent. I know I'm supposed to be at the engagement party tomorrow, but I can't stop thinking about you. Can we meet tonight? I need to see you." The room convulsed. Emily's hand trembled against mine. I blinked back tears, my heart pounding like a pistard's drum. Then I straightened, raising my voice so everyone could hear. "This was your homecoming gift from me, your big sister. I'm so sorry it had to be like this, but no secret stays hidden forever." Jake's shoulders slumped, the color drained from his cheeks. He glanced at Emily, dread blossoming in his eyes. She stepped forward, jaw set. "Jake," she said, voice surprisingly steady, "I invited you to spend your life with me. I didn't sign up to share it with someone else." Her eyes, those familiar green pools I'd known since she was born, met his. "Tell me why I shouldn't end this right now." He ran a hand through his hair, stammering, face twisting. It's not what it looks like." Mu's voice cracked, and for a moment I pitied him. The charlatan caught red-handed, cornered before his own entire family. But pity faded when I remembered Emily's tears the night before. She turned away from him. The orchestra's maestro, as though waking from stupor, lifted his baton and the string section launched into Vivaldi's Spring. Guests leapt to their feet, but the tension didn't dissipate. The basil-scented air of the ballroom felt heavy, almost metallic. Emily exhaled. She looked at me first, her sister her confidant, then at the sprawling crowd. "I'm done," she announced, voice clear. "I can't do this, and neither can any of you, so please, pack it up, guests. This engagement party is over." Pandemonium erupted. Chairs scraped, servers hurried past with half-empty glasses. Some guests mouthed congratulations in awkward rehearsed tones. Others simply gawked. Aunt Linda sputtered. "You can't do this. People have flown in. There's food. A photographer." Mom stepped beside Emily. "She can," Mom said quietly. "And we're going to help her." I found myself at my daughter's side again, heart swelling. David, our cousin, who'd been slated to make the welcome toast, descended from the stage. He placed a steadying hand on Emily's back. "You okay?" he murmured. She nodded. Jake stood motionless, phone in hand, no doubt catching every second for social media. He took a shaky step forward. He pleaded. I can fix this. I love you. I swear Emily's laugh was brittle, both beautiful and cruel. Not anymore, Jake. You broke the promise. She turned to the guests. Thank you all for coming, for supporting us, for believing in us. But my story ends here. She grabbed her clutch and strode toward the side exit, Mom trailing, Aunt Linda gaping, and I followed close behind, shoulders straight, determined. Outside, the cool night air soothed the sting of betrayal. My phone buzzed, text from Sam. I'm on my way. Are you okay? I typed back. Better than okay. Watch this space. In the lobby, guests milled about, awkward clusters forming. Jake appeared, alone, shoulders drooped, and I crossed my arms. He looked at me, guilt surfacing. Sophie, I never meant to hurt her. I glared. Then don't, my voice softened. She's your sister too, Emily's sister. You owe her that much. He bit his lip. I'll fix it, I promise. Promises are cheap, I said. Actions, not words, are what matter. I turned and left him under the gilded arch, stepping into the street where Mom and Emily waited. The next morning, I woke to texts pinging with news articles and social media screenshots. Engagement party implodes after sister reveals groom's secret. 50K views within an hour. Comments ranged from she deserved to know, to what a nightmare. My stomach flipped between vindication and dread. Had I gone too far? Downstairs, Emily sipped tea at the kitchen table in the old family home. The china cups, Mom's wedding gift, still sat in their place, fragile and pristine. I poured another mug and slid into the wooden chair opposite her. How do you feel? I asked. She sipped, eyes distant, relieved for the first time in months. But also, she shook her head. I miss the dream we had. I nodded, I know. But you deserve someone who builds dreams with you, not 1 foot in dreamland and 1 foot out the door. I reached across and squeezed her hand. Mom appeared, rubbing her temples. I called off the caterers, she said. I paid them to donate the leftovers to the shelter. I think we all needed to rethink how we do family celebrations. Emily managed a small smile. Thanks, Mom. Mom's gaze met mine. Thank you, Sophie. I was so blind, I didn't see how happy she really was, or how much she needed you. I exhaled, we all make mistakes. That afternoon, Jake knocked on the front door. I opened it to find him clutching a bouquet of white lilies, Emily's favorite. He looked worn, but determined. He held them out. For Emin, he said. I know it's not enough, but I want to try. I hesitated, then let him in. She's in the garden. He nodded and disappeared down the hall. I wandered to the window and watched him kneel before Emily under the maple tree in the backyard. She accepted the lilies, rose petal pale. They spoke in hushed tones, apologetic, contrite, hopeful. I slipped inside when they rose. Emily's eyes were red but steady. He wants to start over, she said, voice quiet. I perched on the bench beside her. Do you want that? She looked at me. I want honesty. I want respect, and I want him to choose me. Really choose me every day, not just when it's easy. I nodded. Then he has a clear path. It's up to him now. A breeze stirred the leaves above, showering us in mottled sunlight. The house behind us stood silent, witness to the night's drama and the promise of tomorrow. Over the next weeks, word of the epic engagement party collapse spread through family circles. Some relatives reached out with sympathy. Aunt Linda sent a terse apology note. Cousin Mark took down his mocking tweets. Even my father left a voicemail. I'm sorry I doubted you. I chose not to reply until we all sat together. We gathered one evening in the same grand ballroom, this time for a casual family meeting, as Mom called it, where the caterers served comfort food buffet style, not hors d'oeuvres. Jake stood at the front, Emily by his side, Mom and Dad flanking them. I held my tea mug, heart skipping with familiar nerves. Jake cleared his throat. I asked everyone here because I have something to say. First, or rather, second. I want to apologize to Emily, to Sophie, and to all of you. I betrayed Emily's trust, and I hurt my sister. That is on me. He paused. But I've learned more than that. I've learned that love means being seen, even when it's ugly. I stand before you now transparent. He held out his phone. I took down the texts. I ended contact with her, and I'm going to counseling to figure out why I cheated on the person I say I love. I'm committed to becoming the man they deserve. A murmur of approval rippled. Mom dabbed tears. Emily squeezed my hand. I felt a flicker of cautious hope. Then Jake turned to me. Sophie, thank you for saving me from my lies. I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I hope you'll let me try to earn it. I studied his face. No smugness, no entitlement, just raw sincerity. I nodded, voice soft. I'll hold you to it. Emily rose and embraced him, then wrapped her arms around both of us. We'll find our way, she said. We all sat down at the tables, piled with mashed potatoes and meatloaf, a far cry from the truffle mac, but for the first time, it felt like a real celebration. Laughter bubbled up around the room. Dad recounted a blunder from Jake's childhood, Aunt Linda quipped about the best unintended show ever, and Mom toasted to family, flawed but unbreakable. I leaned back, heart full. The road ahead for Jake and Emily would be rocky. The wounds wouldn't vanish overnight, but the truth, laid bare under the ballroom lights, had also cleared the air. We'd gone from laughter at my expense to tears, to apologies, to a shared commitment to love each other better. Later that night, I sat in my old bedroom, the one I left behind for Bali, for candles, for freedom, and I found my childhood diary on the shelf. On the page dated 10 years ago, I'd written, "Family is everything." I smiled, closing the book. Family was still everything, messy, unpredictable, but precious beyond measure. I rose and walked downstairs. The living room glowed softly. Jake and Emily sat on the couch, feet tucked under them, sharing earphones and watching old home videos, perhaps the same footage I'd projected at the party, but now playing on a laptop, laughter entwined with tears. I stepped into the doorway. Jake looked up, surprised. Emily beamed. "Come join us," she said. I did. And as we huddled close, a trio once fractured, then reforged by truth, I realized that the best kind of revenge, or salvation, wasn't in the spectacle, but in the willingness to stand in your own power, to speak the truth, and to let love have the final word.